Do you have a good side?
Listen, all my sides are bad. You're just gonna have to deal with it.
We have here with me one of the Nerdcore titans, if not the Nerdcore titan himself,
Wow.
Rustage.
That's big.
Got into the chorus, rotting like snake eaters. Got him in the door, they knocking for gatekeepers.
That's big words. I feel like if you described me as a titan and then showed them a picture of me, they would think you were joking.
You do a lot of things. You do a lot of things. The way that I discovered you, and I think a lot of people, was, of course, through Nerdcore.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
How did you get into Nerdcore in general?
All right, two answers. The first one is, how did I get into making rap music?
Okay.
Firstly,
Yeah.
when I was 12 years old, 13 years old, I was in a Skype call with two people. One of them was rapping really badly. The other person said, your rapping is so bad, even Rustage could rap better than you. Because I was a child, it was supposed to be an insult. It was like, yeah, like my grandma could bowl better than you.
Okay, yeah.
And they were like, yeah, I'd like to see him try. And I was like, okay, maybe I will. So I recorded my first ever rap.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to rap about because I was just a British kid, so it was mostly just me. It was essentially a diss track on America. It's still on YouTube.
And now he's
if you go to my channel and sort it by oldest, you can hear that rap. That was my first ever rap I ever wrote. I like sped my voice up, I think, a little bit as well, so I could pretend I could rap faster.
Yeah.
But to be honest, it wasn't that bad, surprisingly, for a 13-year-old kid rapping for the first time. And there was a streamer called IBDL, I Bring the Lols, and he heard it and he was like, you know what, this isn't too bad. You should keep at it. And so I would like make songs to send to him.
Yeah.
So I would have like that, get that attention from the streamer that I liked. And over time, I just started I was like enjoying the process of writing this music.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, I don't have anything to rap about, but I have I'm a nerd. I have all these things that I'm really passionate about. So I'm gonna rap about the things that I like. So the first thing that I did was, this is my dark hidden past, is I did My Little Pony music.
Yeah.
If you've talked to Schwabadi,
yeah,
similar,
he told me.
right?
Yeah.
So I did a bunch of brony music because I was a kid, so I was into it. And I made a whole bunch of music. I went to a bunch of brony conventions. I did panels about it back then and stuff. And then I started doing songs about video games I liked. And then I was like, oh, you know what? I love One Piece. I'm gonna do raps about One Piece as well. And then other raps about other anime on top of that. And then I was doing that weekly and after a while, it just started to catch on and then blow up. And I've been doing it frequently ever since. And now here I am.
Yeah. One thing I want to shout out, when it comes to your music, right now you're still as consistent, but you also throw on a lot of the smaller artists. And
oh yeah. Well, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. There are so many rappers out there who are better than I am, but they do not have a big audience. And I feel like that's sort of a disservice. And it's a win-win for me because if I get a small rapper on my track who I think is better than me, then they're just gonna make the song way better than if it was just me or like a singer, etc.
Yeah.
And also they get the benefit from it, from that sort of added exposure and stuff. And also they're more likely to say yes, right?
True.
You try and get DPS on a track, he's not gonna get you that verse, right? But you ask somebody who's got like 2 subscribers who has the best voice you've ever heard, not only will he get you the verse, but it will also be incredible and you're helping them out at the same time. It's just like wins all around. It's like a no-brainer. Why would you not do that? It's crazy to me when some people are like, I'm not working with someone.
That's why. Some people just want to get the big people.
No,
so
but what gets views is good music. What gets views is good music, and
you bring that power too, right? Like you're someone that is so consistent, so well respected in Nerdcore, but also music in general. You can drive people and an audience, right? You weren't always like that. What actually blew you up?
I got really lucky with a Kakashi track. It wasn't the first song of mine that went crazy. I had an Undertale rap that hit 1 million views, but it didn't get any traction from it. But the Kakashi rap blew up. And at that point, I was uploading weekly. And it was just really good timing that as the Kakashi rap was blowing up, a week later, I released a Sasuke rap.
Yes.
And so everybody who subscribed to the Kakashi rap saw that. And then that got pushed out. And then, it sort of snowballs upwards as things often do.
Do you have any inspirations when it comes to rap? I wonder if you're going to pick who I think you're going to pick.
Dan Paul's the obvious.
I knew it.
But as a kid, the thing is, I don't have the voice of rap. I sound like this. Like if you met me in person and I said, hello, I'm a rapper, you'd be like, you're not, you're a history teacher. So hearing someone like Dan Ball rap, who also doesn't have the typical rap voice, and it being incredible and people really like him, it made me go, oh, maybe this is something that I could do. Maybe my voice isn't so terrible for rap after all. And then other like inspirations, like when I was younger, Watsky. Have you ever heard of Watsky?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, I loved all of his all of his songs.
He had that alphabet one where it was just like alliterations for every word.
I don't know. I think that was someone else. He did the Pale Kid Raps Fast. The Gotta Be the One by Bill instead of better, could have been a better.
Yeah, that's the same guy. Same guy. Yeah. He had that. Yeah.
And then he had a whole bunch of extra stuff on albums and stuff that I really loved. And then
He's changed his style completely.
And then recently, like I really like Stormzy, for example, and but like the thing is, I'm a Nerdcore fan, right? I've always been a Nerdcore like nerdy music fan. I was really into fucking World of Warcraft parody music back in the day. Yeah. So a lot of my favorite rappers I like to listen to are like DPS and Schwabity and stuff because they're good at what they do.
Yeah.
And I love listening to it.
When are you going to get on a track with DPS? I asked you that earlier.
I was on the Gear 5 track of his.
Yes, but more. I actually asked this to a fan. I was like, okay, so I'm going to have Rustage on. Is there anything you want to ask him? And they just said...
I'm not good enough to be on DPS tracks. My voice...
I think you are.
No.
You guys are two really great rappers, and you attack it two different ways.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I don't sound good on his sort of beats because...
Maybe the chemistry is what...
Well, no, I'm not as good of a rapper as he is, right? And his stuff is very rap-centric in a way that I can't do.
No, I don't believe that, but I disagree. You going into smaller artists and finding the ones that work with you. Do you write those? Do you help with that? Someone on a hook with you?
Oh, if it turns on hooks, sometimes I will write the hooks and I sing it and then I get someone else to sing it. If the person who I featured is not like a musician per se, but they're like a cover artist, then I've probably written the hook.
Okay.
Or if they're like, someone like that. Yeah. So like, for example, with my Freyrin rap, I wrote the hook for the Freyrin rap, which Issa on it. Yeah. But if it's someone that's like a musician like Maguire, he's written the hook.
Okay.
If it's someone like John Old, he's probably written the hook.
Okay.
Ben Schuler, actually, strangely enough, a couple of times I've written the hook, a couple of times he has. It depends. Okay. I think sometimes it's because I've written a hook that I thought I could sing and I couldn't. And Ben Schuler is very good at capturing that sort of slow... that sometimes I write in my own hook, so I get to do it.
I talked to Ben Schuler earlier too, and he said he wanted to talk to you and get something going again, because...
Oh, he's great.
Yeah.
I love working with him. He's on my next album, comes out next week. But I don't know if it'll be out by the time this goes live.
Yeah. I'm trying to space it out, and I think for you, we need to let that interview...
Oh, it's not just one mega interview?
No.
I thought that's what it was going to be.
It would be like 10 hours long.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, everyone's got inside because they're doing like they must be doing some big song.
Oh, shoot.
I don't know what it is. I haven't done karaoke all day. I've been playing fucking the One Piece trading card game in the corner the whole time. I'm the one who plays card games at the function.
I saw you, but I was like, okay, should I interrupt? No, he's playing a game. I was like kind of stalking you a bit while I was walking by.
I'm so sorry.
That's on me. Right. I'm just being a weirdo. But I recently heard that podcast you had with Schwabity, and you were talking about soccer, football, right?
Oh, the hobby hole?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yes. I thought you were going to ask me about DnD.
I was going to ask you about that too.
Okay, which one first? Hobby hole. Okay. Yeah. Right, okay. Hobby hole's a recent thing. It was supposed to be weekly, but I've been, what is this restaurant running here?
Hello. That's our guy.
Yeah, I don't know. I just love making content.
But yeah, football. Tell me about...
So Hobby Hole is a podcast I run that's like me and Mark's way of... I have tons of hobbies because I'm a nerd. I'm into so many different things. And it's our way of exploring those hobbies and talking about it to our audience to either convince people to be into them as well or like open up a wider discussion about them. And it's, it was a weekly thing we did, and now we're probably just going to do it whenever we have time. Get off the ground. Some people like it. I think it's fun. It's just fun to do extra stuff like that. Yeah. I just love making content.
Yeah. So. Football, why is it called soccer here? What happened?
Because of association football. That's what
you actually have an answer.
So football, obviously, its origins is pretty simple because it's you cook the ball with your feet. Yes. But when it became a sort of more regimented sport, it was called association football, which gets shortened to soccer. And actually, I might be wrong here, but in England we use the term soccer for a little bit because of that. Obviously, we don't anymore. And that was around the time it was sort of growing in popularity in America. I think back in like probably the 1800s. And so that's why they pick up the term soccer. It comes from that. I might be wrong, that's sort of so very loose. There's a lot more nuance to it. But yeah, it's from the term association football.
Okay. I got introduced to it through my grandpa watching the EPL, English Premier League. Yeah. But from what I heard was you and Strawberry, you guys like to support your local team. Yeah. What is that local team? And I think I'm going to share a picture of that pizza.
The pizza. Yeah. Okay, so in English football, we have a relegation system. So if you are at the bottom, like 2 or 3 teams of your league, you get moved down to the league below.
Yes.
But if you're in the top 2 or 3, you get moved up to the league above, right? So everyone knows the Premier League. That's the top flight league, the #1 league. But if you suck, you go down. You can keep going down. And my local team that's really close to me, Hampton FC, is 6th tier.
Okay,
so they are 6. They would have to be promoted 5 times to be in the Premier League.
It's insane, yeah.
Right?
But if they do it,
but they have if they do it, but they also have support, right? Like I went to a match there where there were 1,700 people there, right? For the 6th tier of a sport in America. Like,
no way.
It would never happen. Like, the 2nd tier of sports tends to be the developmental league because they have the draft system. And there's pros and cons of both. But it means that you're still playing for something. Even if you're that low down on the tier, you're still playing for something. Yeah. Because you're playing to get promoted to the 5th tier. You're playing to get promoted to the 4th tier. Yeah, maybe you won't get a Premier League one day, but like, you're still playing to win the league and go up. And that's and for a lot of teams, it's also a financial incentive, because when you go up, you get more money, you get TV deals, you get, and that's like, it's a really exciting part of sports. And football as a sport in England is so culturally ingrained, like it's a community thing.
I wish it was like this here too.
It's difficult because everything's so far apart. And here it is for college sports, I think. For college sports, it's very culturally ingrained, right? People, but
not as deep. I've been to the UK, and every time I just want to watch the game there.
The reason why
the energy,
I mean, the reason why American sports even have the draft system is because of college sports. It's because, like, college basketball kind of existed before the NBA did, really. Again, this is just off. I might be wrong about certain things. I might be fact-checked here. But it was, the draft system was essentially because they needed a way of getting these college students, after they finished their careers, to be assigned to teams for people to continue watching, right?
Yes.
And yeah, that's sort of why America has the draft system as opposed to like a relegation system. Was ours is built genuinely on a sort of the community. A lot of our teams are like 200 years old.
Yes. Yeah. There's a history there. There's loyalty. There's,
100%.
Just following that, even like generation to generation, right? Like if your parents supported that team, you'd probably support it. And there's something there. And it kind of reminds me of Nerdcore as well in a way, because what I do is I do batch reactions.
Yeah.
And you're always at the end, because obviously you're you, but you're always at the end. But I kind of use that in the same way that you'll like grab a smaller artist. Like I'll grab people because they want to see the reaction to you at the end of the day. And I'll just put some smaller artists so they can get some of that stream. And it also feels like they're like in a league below, but I'm rooting for them to get promoted in a way.
I mean, that's cool. That is cool that you like promote smaller musicians through your reactions and stuff. I know that some smaller musicians get annoyed when people don't react to their stuff, but like, I understand that as a reactor, your business is literally reacting to stuff that people want you to react to. Exactly. So it's like, that
was like my healthy medium solution.
I mean, that works really well. I think that works really well.
While I got to Nerdcore, I got to like see who you guys were as people, because at first it was about just the anime, just that. But then you've released some albums, like, the one that you have.
I'm releasing an album next week. It's probably already out.
Oh,
it's called Wanted, 12 songs.
I'm gonna react to it. I am.
Oh yeah, are you gonna do a full album reaction?
I did it with you and
Overflow's
one.
Oh, did you do? Oh yeah, I guess so. Overflow might have been a bit too long ago. Yeah, I think you would like it. It. It has Ben Schuler, it has Kaze, it has Jonald, it has Topamak Kyo, it has Samad Savage, it has me on every song.
Savage.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's got
not expect that. Yeah.
It's cool.
I want to see that. I want to go into the Sorcery one that you had with Maguire, that album. You explored a lot of your personal feelings and
well, that's what the albums are for, I guess. I love making songs about anime characters and stuff like that, because that is what I'm passionate about. And I started doing nerdcore music because I like nerdcore music and I like doing that, right? So I never want people to think that that's not what I like to do. And I'm not a fan of sort of labeling something as like a Naruto rap and then rapping about myself. I'm fine with people doing that, but it's like if I'm watching a Naruto rap, it's because I like Naruto and I want him to do bars about Naruto. Like, I just feel like it's a little bit like false advertising, just because Naruto might be popular. I want to rap about Naruto, so I'll rap about Naruto. So these albums are an opportunity for me to rap about myself and my own personal experiences in a way that's more genuine. Like, you know what you're getting into when you listen to this. But it's not just that, it's also rapping about like subject matters that are maybe a little bit like too obscure or wide. Like I did in Overflow, I have a song called Bound as the King, which is just referencing a whole bunch of historical figures and stuff like that, right? And that, I mean, I think in this latest album, I have a song called David Mitchell, which is just rapping about, it's like, you know, songs like Billie Eilish, where the hook is just saying somebody else's name. I wanted to do that, but the hook is David Mitchell, and David Mitchell is like a British comedian, which you won't know of. No. Most of my American audience will not know of. He's like a panel show comedian called David Mitchell. He's like one of my favorites. And so the song is just mostly about like quiz shows and panel shows from the UK and like comedians from the UK. It's like really niche, and it will only ever work on an album. Yeah. It's important, at least as a listener, for me to have that connection with the artist. And I've said this a few times now, which is going to get repetitive for people, but I listen to Nerdcore rap, right? Yeah. And I love it. But like you said, it's going to be about the ones, the source content that I enjoy, right? I'm not going to click on something else just because it's something else that I've never heard of, right? But having those albums like you do, Shwabadi had his EP as well that was more personal as well. Those things get the audience like really into who you are as a person. So even if it's a song about some anime that they don't know about, they'll listen to it. Right? And also like, I don't know, a lot of times you're talking about things that people relate to because we're all very similar, right? I feel like in a lot of rap music, you don't have those voices that are just like sort of nerdy introverted guys, because a lot of rap music is quite braggadocious, or it's talking about other struggles that are like really valid and important to get out there. But it's like your people, you know, your sort of like nerdy introverted kids are not relating to that. They're not relating to, you know, all the whatever. But with doing these original albums, I can do a whole song about struggles with ADHD, and that's something that a lot of people won't have heard of in rap music before, like as commonly as other stuff they might have heard, right? And I love rap music in general because rap is the only genre into which you can really, well, maybe not the only genre, but it's one of the genres where you can really hear somebody's personality and the things that they reference and the things that they say. And I love that because, you know, you have your rappers that like talk about their struggles with gang violence and stuff, and I think that's really profound. And you have rappers that talk about mental health, and that's really good. And you have rappers that talk about partying, and I think that's great because it's bringing a different energy with everything. I hate music elitism. I'm sorry, I'm getting off topic. But one of the things I hate music elitism, it's one of my biggest pet peeves. Sometimes with people in my audience or in general, people say, your shit's way better than mainstream music. And it's like, bro, there's gonna be music that's like we all just make good music. There's going to be music you like and there's going to be music you dislike. But I feel like it's a bit, people who say, I don't like rap, but I like your rap, it's like there are other rap is just an instrument. There'll be other songs out there that you will enjoy, right? You just don't know it yet. Like you relate to my stuff because it relates to you and it's like that nerdy stuff. But like there are other human experiences out there that are being told through rap, which is really important. And I think, and that's just the benefit of all that.
That's a great answer.
It's you probably have to cut down some of that.
No, but I'm not going to edit any
I waffle. Oh god, I was hoping this would be edited at least a little bit because I waffle too much.
Oh, you want me to? I could.
Because I stumble over my. No, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Okay. I'm sure somebody's going to watch this and be like, bro, get to the point.
But the thing is, you use other points to get to the main point, right? So even though it's not linear, like it all makes sense. Okay. At least to me. I hope it's. I catch some bars every now and then. The other thing is sometimes you'll like say something and I don't get it at all. It's not on purpose.
Wait, in terms of my bars? Well, again, rap
I feel like sometimes you're messing with me.
Rap is such a reflection of who the person is. So I love to be able to write rap into which I'm referencing like an obscure visual novel game that I love.
Sometimes I try so hard and I can't get it.
Yeah. Sometimes you might just be stupid.
Yeah.
It might actually be something you do know and you're just an idiot.
Yeah, I think that's another thing. Like when you're on camera, it's like blank out. I'm like 50% what my brain power is.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to call you stupid.
No.
That was just a joke. I really hope so.
Because I was actually joking about this with...
You understand that it's a joke, but I realize when you record something, people are going to be like, I can't believe you called him stupid.
I have some questions from the fans. Do you plan on being on Epic Rap Battles video at some point?
It's been a dream of mine to be on the Epic Rap Battles of history. I absolutely love them. And I would do it in a heartbeat. I would do it. They would not need to pay me. I would pay for my own flights and my own hotel to do it. I would do it. I would do it. Like, and they know that. I think they know that. They just need to find a role. But the thing is, they probably have so many people they want to have on their stuff. They are aware of my existence, you know?
Yeah.
Epic Lloyd, we're friends on Discord, we're mutuals on Twitter. They know of me, right?
Okay.
They are aware of the stuff that I do. And I think they like the stuff that I do. Okay. The problem is, obviously, their production schedule slowed down. You know, Pete has a kid. They're enjoying the life that they've built up with all of their hard work. That now it's like, when they do a project, it's like every half a year, and it tends to just be them.
Yeah.
And they've covered a lot of the British characters I would be good at. Like, they've done Harry Potter, right? Which I obviously would be good at.
Yeah.
I look like him. And they've done a bunch of other ones. If I were to do one, I'd love to do King Arthur. I think I could do King Arthur. You could do a younger King Arthur.
You have some songs like along those lines too,
right.
So.
I'd love to do. I've already done Sherlock Holmes, but I'd love to do. I could do Oliver Twist.
Okay.
I could do any English king, any English monarch.
So do you keep up with history, or?
Yeah, I love history.
Okay.
History is like stories, but they really happen.
I know like the mythology raps and all that too, the Greek gods. Like those were cool to see because I'm so used to just the anime stuff to see some of that.
Yeah,
was awesome.
I love it.
And even the stream where you guys decided. Like,
yeah. It's great.
That was cool. Tell us about the DnD stuff a bit because.
So I run two DnD podcasts.
Yes.
I run a One Piece themed Dungeons and Dragons podcast and an Isekai themed Dungeons and Dragons podcast. I run them on alternating weeks. One of them is based in the One Piece universe, but all the characters are their own pirate crew. It takes place about 20 years before the actual One Piece timeline. And that's been going on for quite a while. I think the first series finished about 80 episodes, or was it 70? It was either 70 or 80, and it's finished. And so I'm doing a Marine variant. And then the Isekai one is that they all play characters from our universe. So it'd be like, old Tony, the janitor from Nebraska, or like Cody, the gym instructor from LA. And then they get transported into a fantasy world.
Yeah.
And then they become like D&D classes. Yeah. And it's really fun. And that one's a little bit more laid back, but really it's like One Piece D&D is like, it's a lot more story focused. There's more dramatic moments, where Isekai D&D is more humor focused. It's a more laid back, but it's really fun. And I love both of them. And yeah, they're all on my second channel, but they're also on, you can look for them on Spotify or anywhere you get your podcast
I
from.
love those. They're so entertaining.
Developed, I'm glad you like them. I've developed card games based on them. So I have a card game called Devil's Luck, which is a 2-player card game that uses a whole bunch of the characters from One Piece D&D. But
when did you find the time to do all this, by the way? So really quickly.
The thing is, my entire life, everything I've ever done is because it's something that I enjoyed. The only reason I made music about anime and video games is because I liked those things and I wanted to because it was something I enjoyed. I didn't even think about making it into a career. I was just doing it because I liked it. Yeah. I ran these D&D podcasts because I loved D&D and I wanted to run it because I thought it'd be a good idea. I didn't expect people to listen to it or it to be successful. And for a card game, I was just trying to design a card game to play with my friends inside our campaign. It's starting to rain. Yeah. I don't know if that's going to be a concern.
Let's just
we'll probably wrap up. Yeah. And so I do everything for fun. And they just happen to be successful. I made the fucking card game and it's great.
You're a wizard, by the way.
Thank you. I don't want your camera to get wet.
No, I think we should be fine.
Are you sure?
It's waterproof. It's waterproof. I promise you. But one last thing, I really appreciate the diversity that you bring. Thank you for taking the time. Like, it means a lot to me. I listen to your stuff all the time, so I'm a huge fan.
Thank you. I like your reactions. I think they're good.
Thank you.
You're very good at what you do. I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm sorry if it's kind of the interview short. I just worry that your shit's gonna get destroyed.
No, that's fine.
Do you have another question that's like really important? Like something that's like, I've never been asked before.
Not never been asked before, but I'm a big fan of it.
Okay, tell me.
You want to do it?
Yeah, just quickly, before it starts to fall down.
So I'm a big League of Legends fan.
Oh, and the LEC thing?
Yes.
Yeah, so Vedius is a huge fan of my music.
Oh my God.
And that's how I got into
that crossover?
So he contacted me because he was like, bro, I'm a huge fan of your music. And I was like, oh my God, I love esports, like League of Legends stuff. Thank you so much. And he invited me to do this thing because he's like inspired by a lot of my ciphers and stuff. So he wanted to do a similar thing for League of Legends. Yeah. So he invited me and Dan Ball over because Dan Ball does a lot of this sort of stuff.
He killed that
And it was such an incredible experience being in Berlin with them. They're all so nice. Vedius, Dracos, Cadriel, Shocks. The nicest people you've ever met.
Are you going to do more?
Oh, I hope so. I hope so. I hope so. I have to, talk to them about it. But they're genuinely lovely people. And I was like nervous because I was like, oh, I don't know, maybe they'll like I don't know. I didn't expect them.
Syndrome. I have that sometimes.
They were so nice, and I had such a great time hanging out with them. And yeah,
that was a crossover.
Such a unique experience. Worlds. Yeah, such a unic experience. But and
thank you again.
A lot. Yeah. Love it. Thank you. Thank you. Sick. Yeah, it's probably pouring. It's pressing it down. I'm gonna steal the microphone. I'm so sorry, I'm the last one.
No, that's a good thing.
Okay.
We're saving the best for last.
Okay.
Kami.
I feel like a kami. Hey, I feel like a deity.